In most normal households, if a child does something mischievous, he is usually sent to his room or his toys are taken away. James, I respectfully ask you to go to your room. You've been very naughty. Now, in India, imagine a child being jobless. He is looking around for a possible object that can help him do something mischievous. His eyes lock onto the object, his thoughts starts working out a plan, and then the Indian mother telepathically anticipates the child's actions and he's punished even before the deed is committed.
Yes!
Even though this video is about children, for demonstration we'll be making use of a fully grown Indian adult. Unlike the West, Eastern parenting has always encouraged physical punishments. You are expected to follow certain behavioral patterns, breaking which will bring in consequences. Intensity of the consequences varies depending upon the deed you committed. The idea is to hurt someone so that they don't hurt themselves. It might seem odd, but trust us, it has worked wonders for generations of Indians. What are some of the reasons that can get you punished? Not standing up when an elderly person visits. Reading the newspaper and not keeping it back in its place. Lying on the sofa with your bare feet touching it. Questioning the mother after she says, "Because I said so." And sometimes for no reason.
But why?
And for asking back the reason for hitting for no reason. There are few warning signs that can get you prepared before the mother wreaks havoc. It usually begins with the death stare. The death stare is when the mother suddenly gets possessed by a Russian mafia spirit. All expressions from her face suddenly disappear and her eyes lock onto yours. You might think she's planning out on which weapon to deploy, while actually she's wondering if coffins are available in your size. The second sign is her mumbling. She says words by suppressing some form of rage inside her. Many generations have tried decoding the words, but to no success.
Why is she rapping at me?
It could be an ancient secret language that mothers of the world uses to communicate. The third and final sign is tucking of the end of her sari. This is when you should decide if you're running or staying. Once the end is tucked in, then the action will follow for sure. The ideal way for you to escape the scenario is to fall on her feet and apologize. This might calm her down, like maybe after 1,000 apologies. The slippers. It has a sleek look with a flexible body. The handle is strategically designed to provide maximum grip. This stealth weapon is designed to look like a footwear and is worn by Indian mothers usually on a daily basis. The speed with which it is removed and thrown is not yet calculated since no one knows when it happens. As you can notice, the mother of the house can stand on one leg without losing sight of the target. Then she goes on to distract the target by addressing it with the names of certain animals. Once she calculates the distance, the weapon is deployed. Based on assumptions, when the mother of the house detects an opportunity to throw the slippers, she prowls like an apex predator and decides if she wants to deploy it. Once it is removed, sometimes she threatens the victim with a warning gesture. If the victim complies, then the weapon is put down. If not, the victim will end up with a swollen body part, usually the head. One of the brutal rituals practiced by the mothers is the habit of asking the victim to fetch the weapon back to her. She finds enormous amounts of joy in the same. The broomstick. Based on region, this weapon can vary in its design. It is designed to look like a cleaning tool. The weapon is used usually when the act is done at close range. Now do not mistake the weapon as a subtle one, since one end looks soft and feathery. This end is not used for the beating. Rather, this end is the one that makes you scream. Once you spot the weapon in the vicinity, you have to be really careful to not tempt the mother of the house by being in postures that reveal smooth curves of the body. They may not be able to resist the temptation and strike you for no reason. Spatula. Any mischievous act within the kitchen is usually met with punishment by the spatula. For a grown-up offspring, the strike might seem childish. That is until you realize that the spatula was just used to make some dosha. Indian mothers usually hate it when the offspring tries grabbing some food while it's being prepared. Any such act will be met with a spatula strike on the knuckles. A strike on the knuckles from an inexperienced mother will not produce the desired sound. But the experienced one will strike just to hear the soothing bone-cracking melody. Newspaper. The newspaper is probably the softest among a mother's weapons. She would prefer not using it for punishment, since traditional custom expects everyone to respect anything that provides knowledge. But on occasions, the mother uses newspapers for two main purposes. On a hot day, it's used as a hand fan. And the second most prominent use is to whack their offspring on the head. The strike is not usually attempted without some warning gestures. Here we can see an offspring seated next to his mother. He is about to give her his academic report. The mother now analyzes the expression and body language of the offspring. If he looks genuinely concerned, then she knows that the marks are not good. As a method to intimidate, she gives the death stare and slowly folds the newspaper. She looks at the report, acknowledges the situation, and lets the offspring walk free. Now let's look at the second scenario where the offspring tries to be a smart one. He tries hiding his legitimate emotional situation by smiling and pretending to be overly cool. The mother immediately understands what is going on and plays along. She folds the newspaper and receives the report. Things go smooth until she reaches back for the newspaper. She rolls it and... Here you need to understand that the whacking is not for the low marks scored, but for the show put up by the offspring, thinking that the mother could be taken for a ride. The rolling pin. Extending about 15 inches in length and made of wood, the rolling pin weighs close to half a kilogram. It's used to make Indian breads like chapati and naan. The weapon is the deadliest of the lot, as it's designed to cause maximum damage irrespective of which end is used. One whack with this can make you scream at decibels that cannot be measured. Depending on which area suffered maximum damage, your sitting posture can vary for a few weeks. Usually, the mother uses the weapon in a fit of rage. She might aim for the head but excludes it for a part that is not already damaged. Sides of arms are often targeted. This will lead the offspring to vigorously rub the damaged area. The mother uses this opportunity to rupture the other side, leaving the victim to rub with both hands. Remember that any tool that you dearly buy for your Indian mother can eventually become a pain-inflicting device. So be extremely cautious while you make your next trip to the supermarket. We are not sure if we missed any important tools that are weaponized by Indian mothers. If we did, do mention them in the comment section.